What's up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Wednesday. It's a hump day, May 22nd, 2024. Welcome in to your daily Buckeye Blitz. Hope you're doing well. Muddling our way through another week. I had to drive out of town Monday. Basically took up my entire day, so things got pushed back. Appointments were made, meetings were taken, and we're a little late with today's show. So apologies if you're Irish. Anyways, don't forget to visit thebuckeyecast.com. Check out the shop, support the show. Shirts and hats are all affordably priced. I would say cheaper than most Ohio State shops if you actually look around. So, and our stuff's always on sale. So, as always, I appreciate the patronage. All right, so today we're talking some recruiting. I know some people get tired of recruiting, but this is recruiting season. It's that time of year. May, June, July is heavy recruiting, especially May and June. You got camp season starting up. You got unofficial and official visits going on May and June. So most kids, a lot of them, want to make their college decision before they start their fall practices and especially their fall season. So that's why this is recruiting season. So we're going to embrace it, and we're not going to talk about it every day, but a couple times a week we're going to talk about recruiting because it is important to know who's coming next. And I've done it a little bit different here on today's show, where I'm talking about all the visitors coming in on offense only. We're just talking offense today for the 2025 class. We don't have enough time to get into 26s yet. So 2025 guys, offense. We're going to run through when they're visiting and any other kind of where we stand with them as far as we know. I mean, is anybody really trying to predict the future of a 17 or 18-year-old kid? I'm not. But anyways, I can tell you kind of where we stand and where I think we are. So let's get into it. First off, let me get my offers up and running here. Okay. So QBs, let's start with QBs. We're good. Push away from the table. We're all good. We're set with Tavian St. Clair, and he's going to be visiting every weekend and doing his part to recruit the rest of this 2025 class. So we're all good. TSC, soon to be 5-star. If he's not yet across the board, then that's a travesty. He should be a 5-star in every recruiting service, even that dumpster fire ESPN. All right, so we're good with quarterbacks, right? Now let's talk running backs. We have a new guy that was just offered recently. His name's Anthony Rogers. He is a 4-star, a high 4-star, a 9.555 from Montgomery, Alabama. He just transferred to IMG. He's 5'8", 185, currently committed to Alabama. He committed there over almost a year ago, June 2nd of 2023. So a long time commit, little undersized, I would say, at 5'8", but nationally ranked number 86 in the class, number 6 running back in the class. So obviously he's got offers from anybody that matters. So let's look at his visits here. Anthony has he's visited Alabama a lot, obviously, thus the commitment. He had 7 visits to Bama, 5 to Auburn. So kind of seems like he might be staying in the South. He's also visited Georgia, Florida State, and Tennessee. So, we'll see what happens with this one. I think this is maybe a little too late on Coach Locke's part, offering him at this point, but he will be in town this weekend, May 24th to the 26th. So they got him on campus for an unofficial, and we'll see what happens. The Buckeyes are trying to take 3 running backs, so we got to keep that in mind. Next up, Bo Jackson. He's taken his official May 31st to June 2nd. He's at the top of Ohio State's recruiting board, obviously, in-state guy. He's taken a lot of visits recently. Most recently went to Georgia just last weekend. And he's taken a couple visits there, but he does have locked in his Ohio State official and an Alabama official a week later. So Bama's getting that all important last visit, it looks like. He has visited Ohio State the most, though, obviously being an in-state guy. 7 times he's visited Ohio State, 3 times Georgia, 4 times to Penn State, and just once to Bama. You got a bunch of other schools like the Cheaters and Kentucky and all that, but I don't think they're really part of this recruitment. I think this is going to come down to Ohio State, Georgia, Bama. And I think I like Ohio State's chances. In-state guy, So I got the Buckeyes bringing in Bo Jackson. Next up, the other top of the board running back, Jordon Davison from California. He's a high 4-star as well. Both of these guys are very close. He's coming in at the end of June 21st to the 23rd. Top of the board guy out of California. I think we land him as well. That might be a little aggressive, but I think that the number of visits really stands out to me and his upcoming visits. He's taken 8 to USC, but he lives in Southern California, 5 to Ohio State. He's been visiting Ohio State since April of 2022. So tack on another visit with the official. And then you got the Cheaters coming in. He's visited there 4 times with Benedict Alford, obviously getting his attention. Now he's visited Oregon 4 times, Texas 5. That's why they got those early crystal balls. And Bama 3 times. I think this is going to come down to Ohio State, Oregon, and Bama. You're going to hear this a lot probably. So I think the Buckeyes get Jordon Davison, though. He's a huge Zeke Elliott fan, and I think that the Scarlet and Gray puts it over the top. So playing for the Buckeyes is huge. So next up, we got 2025 Pennsylvania running back Isaiah West. He's a more recent offer as well. I think it's just a matter of time before he's a Buckeye. Now, what changes all this is who commits when, So if, let's say, Bo Jackson commits, then maybe Isaiah West starts looking elsewhere. That's possible. It's up to Coach Lachlan to sell these guys on being part of a 3-man running back class. So it's a little daunting, not easy, but it's doable for sure. Isaiah West, I think he's a Buckeye just because the only other teams involved are Wisconsin and Kentucky. He's also visited Penn State, but he hasn't been there in almost a year. So Wisconsin, I'm not too worried about. I think we can out-recruit Wisconsin. And then Kentucky, same. He's only visited there once so far. So does have officials to those schools as well. So I think Isaiah West is a Buckeye sooner or later. His official is June 14th to the 16th. So I imagine a commitment will come shortly after that. Next up, Jeffrey Overton. He's a 3-star out of Virginia. He's listed as an athlete, but he's a running back. That's what he's being recruited as. He's coming in May 31st to June 2nd. Again, coming in that first weekend of visits. So what happens if he commits? Then these other 3 guys start looking at each other like, well, I'm going to start going somewhere else, So they're not taking 4 running backs. So Overton, an under-recruited guy. What is he? Yeah, he's a 3-star, 8490 out of Woodbridge, Virginia. He's visited Maryland the most, 7 visits. He's got an official coming up. Vatech as well, obviously the in-state school, and Virginia. I almost said something else. So we'll see. I think the Buckeyes can out-recruit those schools if they want to go all in for Overton. Now, will they? That's the question. I think it depends on what happens with the other guys. I would keep Overton on the back burner. Next up, our favorite place to recruit running backs, South Florida. Yeah. Byron Lewis. He's coming in June 14th to the 16th. this is the typical South Florida recruitment kind of MO. He's visited Miami a million times, almost, almost a million, just under. Florida State 4 times, the Buckeyes just twice, and he has the upcoming visit. And then Wisconsin, 1 visit upcoming. He's never visited there before. So Byron Lewis, I don't know. I would say flip a coin, but that's giving him way too much, giving South Florida running backs way too much credit. So do not flip a coin in this case. So yeah, those are the running backs we got coming in. And again, I learned this from like Berm and Mark Givler and Bill Kurlick, some of the old school guys, Bill Green when I used to listen to the Buckeye Scoop, and they all have the same motto and live by the same credo, that is, watch what the recruits do, not what they say. So doing is visiting, right? So let's continue. Yeah, keep that in mind when we're going through these guys. If somebody has not scheduled an official visit, that should be a cue if they're not committed already. If somebody is currently has an open recruitment and has not scheduled an official, that should send up alarm bells that they're probably not really interested. So anyways, let's go receivers here. We're talking receivers 2025. The waiting is the hardest part. Recruiting insiders say that everyone is waiting to see who will go to Ohio State, who will commit first. Then they will all fall in line and decide where they want to go after that. So who's going to break the ice here? First up, you got Texas wide receiver Taz Williams Jr. His official is May 31st to June 2nd. He's coming in from Texas. Where's he from? Red Oak, Texas, 6', 181. He's a 4-star. So he's got visits to Michigan coming up, the Cheaters, Texas A&M, and Penn State. Now, he has visited the Buckeyes twice already, along with that upcoming official visit. So SMU somehow is really making waves in recruiting with these Texas kids. He's visited SMU the most, 5 times. The Cheaters will be 3 when he gets to that official. Texas A&M 3, 5 times to Texas, but no official visit to Texas. So keep that in mind. He's hit up basically every school in Texas, it looks like. So I think this comes down to Ohio State versus A&M. I don't think the Cheaters have a chance in this one. They should never have a chance at beating us for a wide receiver recruit, right? They don't throw the goddamn ball. All right, next up, Dalen McCutcheon. He's coming in the same weekend, May 31st, June 2nd. Now, he's another guy that's visited a ton of schools. He's 33 visits, man. This is insane. Again, 3 times to SMU. What the hell's going on here? What year is this? He has visited Ohio State twice. So along with this official visit, that'll be 3 times. It's been a little while. He was here back in March, but for an unofficial. So I can't put this guy in the class just yet. None of these receivers. He's a 4-star, out of Lucas, Texas. He does go to Peyton Pierce's high school, Lovejoy. So maybe that helps. I don't know. His recruitment is like all over the place. And then you got Vernell Brown III. He'll be in the same weekend, May 31st, June 2nd. I got him as a strong Buckeye lean right now. He has visited Florida 9 times. 9 times. I watched Ferris Bueller a few weeks ago for the first time in like two decades. Still good. Anyway, 4 times to Miami. This will be his 3rd visit to Ohio State, 3 times to Florida State. So he's really looking hard out of Orlando, of course. So he's really looking hard at these Florida schools. Pops is a legacy at the University of Florida. He's a 4-star, solid, good 4-star at 5'10 and a half, 170. So I got him as a Buckeye lean and supposedly a decision by the end of July. So could be a summertime commitment there. Next up, another Texas receiver, Dakorien Moore. This guy's a legend on the track. Jesus, he is fast, fast, fast. He's coming in the same weekend, May 31st to June 2nd. So a whole plethora of wide receivers coming in. And you know it's a weird day when I use the word plethora. Anyways, so Dakorien Moore, he's coming in the 5-star from Duncanville, Texas. Huge program down there. He's visited University of Texas 7 times, Ohio State twice with this official visit, and then Oregon twice with that official visit. So did decommit from LSU, of course. I think Ohio State, Texas, and Oregon are even in this race. He did not reopen his recruitment, though. That should be noted. After he decommitted from LSU, he did not reopen his recruitment. He was like, don't offer me. I'm not looking at new schools. I'm looking at schools that have already offered. That's why Ohio State, Texas, and Oregon are even. The Texas insiders, these guys are a bunch of clowns, in my opinion. They believe the Longhorns are the team to beat. So he does have 3 crystal balls in to go to Texas, but it's not over. And the Buckeyes are even with Texas and Oregon. Next up, Quincy Porter Jr. He's from New Jersey. June 7th to the 9th, he will be in for his official visit. And he's a 4-star coming out of Bergen Catholic. Excellent program there. He has officials to the Cheaters, Penn State, and Oklahoma, along with us. And he has visited Michigan, the Cheaters, 3 times so far. They have the most visits, but it's been quite a while. He was here back in April, but before that it was almost a year. So we'll see what happens. I can't put Dakorien Moore in the class yet, but I like our chances. Quincy Porter, I don't like our chances, honestly, because he's looking at Penn State. Penn State does very well in New Jersey. So do the Cheaters. We do well in other schools in New Jersey, but I don't think the Oklahoma visit has any bearing on this. So I'm not putting Quincy Porter in the class. Next up, you got California wide receiver Phillip Bell on his official visit, June 14th to the 16th. He's visited USC a lot. He is from Mission Viejo, so Southern California. Been to USC 4 times. Washington is in the mix. He's been there a couple times. The Buckeyes, of course, a couple times there. Georgia a couple times, but he doesn't have an official to Georgia. He also has officials to Tennessee and Penn State. So again, another guy that's kind of all over the place. Looks like he's not afraid to go east, looking at Ohio State, Tennessee, and Penn State. But I don't feel comfortable putting him in the class. He's a 4-star, sure, but I don't really know what the hell Hartline's doing right now. I don't know who his favorites are. I know Jaime Ffrench is. We'll get to him in a second, but I think he likes Talon Taylor. We'll talk about him now. From Illinois, June 21st to the 23rd, he'll be in town for his official. So a short drive for him, but he's been to Georgia a lot, Wisconsin, Notre Dame. These guys, I mean, especially Notre Dame and Georgia, they are really in the mix. He's only been to Ohio State twice so far. He's been to the Cheaters 3 times. So kind of a Midwest vibe to his recruitment, except for Georgia, of course. But everybody looks at Georgia. So I think he could be a Buckeye. I like Talon Taylor coming to Ohio State. Then you got Jaime Ffrench, the Florida wide receiver out of Jacksonville. He'll take an official visit in the fall at some point to Ohio State. I still got him as a Buckeye lean. Excuse me, I just bit my tongue. Buckeye lean. But he is going to go through the process. So he's going to look at all these visits. He's taken 35 visits so far. It's 5 to Alabama, where he decommitted from, 5 to Florida State, 3 to LSU. He has one of those upcoming that's an official, 4 to Ohio State, 4 to Florida, 2 to Miami, Tennessee, Texas. So who knows? I think he's in the class. I think he'll be a Buckeye, but I could see the reason that some of these kids are turned away from Ohio State, or they turn away from Ohio State because of Jeremiah Smith being in the class ahead of them, and being a freaky freak. Long show today. You're welcome. All right. Tight end. Nate Roberts from Oklahoma, the current commit. He's coming in June 7th to the 9th. So he'll do a little recruiting for the Buckeyes. And then you got O-lineman. Okay. This is what I call a drive for 5. Widen the net, Fry guy. Let's get 5 dudes in here that can play. First up, 2025 Florida offensive lineman Caden Strayhorn, May 31st to June 2nd. He'll be in for his official. He also has officials set to LSU and the Cheaters, still considering Michigan State as well. Why? I don't know. He is a Michigan native, so he's open to it, I guess. Good call. Anyways, next, Georgia offensive lineman Andrew Stargell. His official is June 7th to the 9th. He is considered a center. The Buckeyes are recruiting him as a center. He made an official visit to the Buckeyes. He made an unofficial visit to the Buckeyes. Also has officials set to UCF. It looks weird. Kentucky, but the Buckeyes should win this one. I think we're in, like Flynn. Next up, Alabama offensive tackle Micah DeBose. His official is June 14th to the 16th. He also has an official visit to Florida State May 31st. His other top schools he's considering Alabama and LSU. I think he probably stays in the South, either Alabama or LSU would be my lean there, not the Buckeyes. Next up, the big man, 5-star David Sanders, number 1 tackle in the country. His official is June 21st to the 23rd. He has an unofficial to Georgia. He attended last week. He's made official visits to South Carolina and Nebraska already. And he has official visits to Clemson, Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama, along with the Buckeyes. So 5 of them there. Remember, there's no limit. He's already taken 2. So in that order, Buckeyes get the last visit, it looks like, and the Buckeyes are definitely in his top 3 right now. So that's a big one. That's a big fish. You're going to need a bigger net. You're going to need a bigger boat. Fry daddy. All right. Maryland offensive lineman is up next. Joshua Blackston. His official visit is June 21st to the 23rd. He had an official set to Rutgers May 31st. He's also considering Maryland and Boston College. The Buckeye staff likes Blackston, so let's keep him in mind. He's a 3-star, but we need some good quality development projects here. Next up, Javon McFadden. He has set an official visit to Ohio State May 31st to June 2nd. He's also looking at Penn State, Maryland, and South Carolina. Kind of leaning towards Ohio State on this one. I think we can out-recruit Penn State, Maryland, and South Carolina. So if Fry wants to go all in on McFadden, I think he's ours. Some other linemen to think about that haven't officially scheduled an official visit yet. Henry Fanuku, he's was he 4-star? Yeah. Took an unofficial to Ohio State recently. Plans to make an official visit possibly May 31st to June 2nd. But again, nothing scheduled yet. Ohio State and Georgia are at the top of his list. So consider that guy. Mario Nash Jr. is another recent offer. Scheduled an unofficial to Ohio State for May 24th. So coming up this weekend. He has an official visit set to Mississippi State, June 21st to the 23rd. And that he doesn't have any other officials scheduled. Other schools he's looking at are Florida State and USC. Next up, Josh Petty has official visits set to Georgia Tech, Clemson, Auburn, Tennessee, Stanford, Oregon, and Florida State. He's working on scheduling one to Ohio State, but again, keep an eye on that one. If he's really serious, then he will schedule that. He's also interested in Georgia and Notre Dame. Douglas Utu, highly ranked 4-star out of Bishop Gorman. He's been to Ohio State, hasn't yet scheduled an official visit though. So keep an eye on him. He's from Vegas, so he's also looking at Oregon and Washington. Jackson Lloyd, from Carmel, California, 4-star, made an unofficial to Ohio State. Sorry, I keep messing that up. He has officials set to Alabama and USC also. Does have plans to schedule an official visit to the Buckeyes, but hasn't yet. Right now, Alabama is considered the leader there. I can't really pinpoint any of these guys, honestly, in the Ohio State class. I say we're close. We're neck and neck with the other teams, but it's hard for me to say like any of these guys we're definitely getting. Stargell, yeah, okay. We're getting the center, Stargell. But I don't feel good about Micah DeBose. Sanders is a 3-way coin flip. However you do that, I don't know. Blackston is a strong Buckeye target, but does he want to stay, in the Northeast with Maryland and Boston College? McFadden, I think the Buckeyes could land him if they want to. And then, what else? Fry recently offered Zaire Addison last week. He made an official visit to UCLA and has official visits set to Florida on May 31st, Oregon June 2nd, Penn State on June 14th, Florida State on June 21st. So this looks like a Florida State or Oregon battle. And then Nolan Davenport, he's an Ohio guy, doesn't have an offer yet, could get one when he camps at Ohio State in a few weeks. So if the Buckeyes do offer, they instantly become the top contender against Michigan State or Wisconsin. So yeah, should be a dub. And then Jake Cook, he's a current Louisville commit, had a good showing at the Under Armour camp in Canton, Ohio back in April, but does not have an offer yet either. So we'll see what happens there with these Ohio guys. So that's the rundown. Those are the big visitors on offense. Those are all the visitors that are scheduled so far. Obviously, this can change, but hope you guys enjoy the extra long show. We'll talk defense in a couple days. I don't want to pile on too much recruiting stuff for you, but we'll talk defensive visits coming up. We've got a lot of studs coming in. So that's all I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.